This conference today for me is about bigging ourselves up, celebrating what's working in communities, but also being really critical and I guess interrogating some of the things that we are doing.
Community arts is really important because performing arts especially, but also the arts, I think, can lead inclusion and be a model for inclusion.
There's a quote by Albert Einstein which really summarizes it well for me. Empathy is patiently and sincerely seeing the world through another person's eyes.
I think community arts is massively important because anyone can be an audience member, which means no matter your background, no matter your occupation, everyone can be in the same room, share the same experience, and then be able to talk about how that's either the same or different to what they're doing.
Challenging people to connect across differences.
And I think by coming together at an event like this, we can not only talk about how wonderful inclusive theatre is as a process and what wonderful benefits we see through that, but how that is different in every single community.
Other ways in which we can better engage and support underrepresented groups and communities in a society that persists in devaluing the impact and accessibility of the arts.
I'm really interested to explore what we mean by co-creating and how we can create material to genuinely highlight and give a kind of legacy to community voices.
I think that coming to days like this and bringing together different arts professionals and arts organisations is important for so many reasons, but most importantly to be able to share practice and to understand how we can genuinely co-create with communities and centre those communities in what we're doing.
Space to understand how theatre can aid to the community and especially to the young people.
And I just want to learn a little bit more. I'm here to listen really and just hear what everyone has to say.
You know, people are not listening to that divisive politics, I don't think. And I think they're not accepting that we should be wary and fearful of people. They're kicking back, they're getting creative. They're using art and culture, I think, to instigate and to enable action.
The lessons that we take away from that and how we can kind of improve on by sharing our learnings and resources, networks, so that we can have a collective voice.
The beautiful thing about these words is that they might mean something different to everyone. You can interpret them in whichever way you want.
So basically the way the song I think about it is that the community has no boundaries, but then again it has no immediacy either.
Meet other like-minded people and find out about some opportunities to provide some experiences for my community in my schools.
I feel like if you get another perspective, the conversations that we have can be fresh and new.
I think it's important to amplify voices and raise communities because I feel like people in minorities deserve to have their stories told. You can't be what you can't see.
The idea of sort of island mentality is community that,
completing the other half of that cultural exchange.
Protecting
how
your community
are we
and also
not only
seeking beyond it.
Us as artists going and working with those people, but how are we ensuring that we're sharing their stories and things that they want to share and the work that they want to do.
Like, how can I then use my skills to then benefit young people's experiences, and how can we celebrate our differences? How can we give people that platform and that space to express themselves?
Like, I'm South Asian, so like, why do I never see like South Asian, like a lot of South Asian artists in the industry and things like that? So being in a position with a lot of power, a lot of access to funding, a lot of resource, and instead of leveraging that power for ourselves, how can we like distribute it amongst the communities that we work with?
I think building the connections is easy, maintaining them can be a little bit more difficult. We meet a lot of people all the time who are all doing very similar work, but it's how you maintain those connections and make the connections work for the communities that you're serving.
And there is nothing more empowering than to feel that you belong to something, to somewhere. And this is why it's hard when you are a practitioner, you're going from place to place to place. How do you build that thing up? You know, how do you build that? It's all about trust. Only belonging to something. And then the art seeps in and brings you and takes you to somewhere. Then you discover, when you're feeling invisible, when you're feeling that thing of maybe my life hasn't been much, your life has been something. And it's trust, isn't it? It's trust. It's walking into a room and knowing that by you coming in, You've made a difference.
Okay, I was just from that. I've had loads of conversations today about like how do we get young people into the room initially,
and it's about believing that you are valued and feeling that.